Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 10 of this 30-day Living an Authentic Life Challenge. Today, we're going to have a conversation about humility because humility is not just a virtue, but a strategic advantage that will get you on a path to freedom. Because when you choose to live a life of humility, you can reach a level of success that you never ever imagined in several different elements. I remember reading a story about these two businessmen that were trying to get to Anchorage, Alaska for a business deal that they just had to close. This business deal would set them up for life. So they were like, we have to get there no matter what happens. When they tried to do the purchase for the tickets online, bunch of technical issues caused them to have to go to the airport to actually get in line and purchase a ticket at the counter. Well, the line that had to go get the tickets purchased at the counter was real long. And while they were waiting, this man came up to them and said, "Hey, if you are willing, I don't mind taking you to Anchorage. I have a private plane that I can ride and then that you can ride on and get you there in no time." And they were thinking about it, and the thought hit them that, hey, arriving in a private plane gives us a certain level of prestige, and we can still meet the goal that we want, get where we need to be, and not have to deal with all these lies. So they told the guy, okay, let's see. So they walked over to his plane and they saw the plane, and it looked like a decent plane, and they were thinking, oh yeah, coming in to Anchorage on this plane, oh, this private jet will enhance our prestige, and we can definitely get the deal by just walking in with this element. So they got in the plane, took off well, no major issues. But as they were climbing higher into the clouds, the pilot said, I have this thing about me. As we get into the clouds, clouds tend to make me pass out. Now, that seemed to be something that you would think he would have told them in advance, but he didn't. And so, since he didn't share with them as they kept rising higher and higher, and then they finally got surrounded by the clouds, the pilot passed out, just like he said. Well, these gentlemen were trying to figure out, well, what do I do? How are we going to get where we need to be? We don't know anything about flying a plane. And so they did what they could to try to reach the airport control. And they didn't know any of the protocols. Like, hello, hello, can someone help us? And then the tower heard their call and was like, who is this? And they explained the situation to them. And they said, okay, this is what I need you to do. Follow my instructions. Just hear the words in my voice. I will tell you everything you need to do. And I need you to pay close attention. Because right now, you are headed right into the side of a mountain. And if you choose not to listen to my voice, you will die. So they decided we have to pay real close attention. So they got in position, followed the instructions of the tower, a voice that they could not see. They followed the instruction of the tower through moments of unknown elements. And then they were drifted into a space where they're like, okay, we got away from the mountain. This is good. This is good. And then they came into a storm. The storm started shaking them up, and they were cowering in fear. And it was like, if anybody at this time needed to pray, this was the moment to do it. So they threw up their Hail Mary prayers. Oh, we had a whole conversation about Hail Mary prayers. But anyway, they said their prayers, and the voice on the other end said, don't worry about it. Focus on my voice. Don't focus on the storm. Focus on my voice. Don't focus on the storm. Everything that's waging around you, it will cause you some sort of fear. But in the middle of your fear, if you just focus on my voice and not on the storm, you will get through this. And so they concentrated, despite all the distractions that was happening around them, despite the fear that was trembling in their soul. They listened to the voice, a voice of someone that they did not know, a voice of someone they could not see. And they decided at this moment in time, despite what's happening around my world, I would choose to believe that the voice that I'm hearing guiding me towards safety, guiding me towards victory, guiding me towards the destination that will make certain that I am whole. I will follow that voice. I will listen to that voice, and I will do exactly what it says. Well, they landed safely. And in landing safely, they got where they needed to be. And around them, the other pilots, because The airplanes that was usually headed to Anchorage, the tower had cleared them away, so a lot of them were already listening to the trembling and the voice and the fear, but recognizing that they landed safely. And the landing safely forced them to have to pay attention, because the last thing that the tower told them before they land, you need to pay attention to the cross that you see. Stay right in line with the cross, and it will guide you right to me. And so they stayed on the path and saw the cross as they were entering the landing pad. And they stayed right in the center of the cross, and it guided them straight to where they needed to be. Now, this story is a story shared from what I remember. So I encourage you to share insight from your life story, pieces that you remember. It may not be exactly as it was told, but the moral of the story is, for some of us that find ourselves in the middle of a storm, for some of us that find ourselves in the middle of chaos, for some of us that are struggling to deal with the distractions that life is bringing at us, you have to pay attention to a voice that will guide us to safety, to a voice that lets us know that in the middle of the storm, there will be a cross that you can see that will give you the elements of getting to safety. So for today, day 10, humility. We're going to continue this conversation with those of us that are hanging out in Zoom. Go to my website, tanyaehood.com. When you go there, click quick, because this shuts down at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is quick snippets so that you can easily fit it inside of your life. And I'm hoping that as you're listening to these portions, that it is applying a thought in your mind to start taking a look at some pieces of your life. I look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. Hood, walking in my purpose, and want you to do the same.